Back in 1965, John Lennon found himself in a tough spot. He'd spent hours trying to write a song for the Rubber Soul, but came up empty, feeling more isolated than inspired. Eventually, he threw in the towel and lay down, accepting that maybe nothing would come. Then, in a moment of resignation, he saw himself as a nowhere man sitting in a nowhere land. Suddenly, it all clicked and outpoured one of his most personal, introspective songs. Nowhere Man is Lennon's reflection on feeling directionless, his way of admitting that, even as a Beatle, he was struggling to find his own path. Paul McCartney has always called it one of John's best. Still, over the years, Paul's interpretations have evolved, sometimes describing the song as a look into John's own struggles, other times even suggesting it might have reflected his own life too. Musically, the recording of the song was pretty unique. George Harrison and Lennon attempted a harmonized guitar solo. They finally nailed it after a few takes, each playing a Fender Stratocaster with a high-pitched, ringing tone. The extra treble effect was so intense that the studio engineers initially resisted it, but McCartney pushed back, and eventually they got the crisp, piercing sound they were after. The track holds a special place for Beatles fans, especially since it was one of the few from Rubber Soul performed live during the band's final concert at Candlestick Park in 1966. That moment right before the Beatles stopped touring gives Nowhere Man an aura of both closure and nostalgia. The song also appears in the 1968 animated film Yellow Submarine, only adding to its lasting legacy. In the movie, the Beatles sing the tune to a creature named Jeremy, lost and lonely in the Sea of Nothing. It's a pretty funny little scene, and it hits on some of the same themes as the song: loneliness, and the sense that we're all drifting at times, hoping to find a solid connection. Lennon later described songwriting as something that came through him, almost like he was a vessel. Nowhere Man embodies that feeling. Somehow, he managed to capture what many of us feel when life's meaning seems to slip through our fingers. Decades later, thankfully, we can still pause at those moments when we're feeling stuck. Turn the music on and turn it up, and instantly remember that we're not alone, even when we feel like we're going nowhere.